This journey, my tipping and falling into silence, then my return to sound. First, a working farm, a family, sounds percolating the colour and season of the day. Tractors, animals, mourning dogs, small girls, busy parents. Conversations leapfrogging over the kitchen table and racing out into the sun. Rolling laughter heard and felt against the skin. Scolding, soothing, settling. The sounds of a living space. Then silence. Walking off the land. Each time we gather at the farm, like wingless crows in darkly clustered groups, our faces solemn and still against the background of a late spring day, the season more piercing for being generous and fair. The first year, I hold my father's hand, guiding him gently behind the slowly walking men, noting absently how their long, strong fingers press in so tightly and so hard against each other's shoulders, a gesture that at any other time would have had me think of casual friendship. Today, it is a generous and precious ritual. It calls me to the edge of tears, respect and quiet kindness in each silent lift. The following year, my sister holds my arm as we turn our backs upon the empty house and step out into the day. The assembled mourners walk behind us, moving through blossoming light that is rich and warm and full. Sun shadowing steps that are heavy with love and grief and loss. This is the final walk, the leaving of the farm, precious moments recalled in each quiet step. A journeyed generation of those who have lived this land. Holy as any Sabbath, steeped in the history of our soil, this our walking off the land. A coffin carried with love and grace to the edge of fields a farmer and his family worked and owned. Wise men know they do not own the land they love, but belong in turn to summer hedges, October morning mists, sun-warmed soil, graceful hares running lightly over a spring field, winter stars above the darkening land, the myriad beauties of a farming life. This walk is love. A shared memory of our miraculous days, our dusks and dawns, our precious lives, soil in our veins. All else is past and still. Quietly and with love, we walk each coffin off the land. In your life, you'll find some silences are rich with possibility, fecund with promise, taking us one soft step closer to what we need to know. The darker silences of loss offer stasis, dereliction, an echoing emptiness, and a sense of falling away. This new silence is unknown territory. I begin to understand that language will not trespass here. Seeds. The farm was never silent. Daybreak found my parents busy in the byres, heavy buckets swinging lightly in my father's hands as my mother gathered eggs and scattered grain. Pigs grumbled low into the morning, and children with chickens scrambled, scolding towards the light. Young calves frothed themselves in milk, while heifers, sensing spring, shifted restless in their pens. We knew the sound of tractors starting up and moving through the yard. Cars coming to the house brought cattle dealers, men from grain mills, the bread man on a Wednesday, visits from family, sometimes, if necessary, a call from the vet. the traveller who sold my mother roller towels, the minister twice a year, or less if the dog was in the yard. And now they hang, those precious sounds, as moments suspended on the edge of loss. Fragile as a heavy-seeded grass midsummer full. One by one, those memories echo through the empty farm. And, as the wind rises on a fresh, cool day, that grass is drawn up into the breeze, and all the precious seeds, so delicate, so far beyond our grasp, are scattered now and gone. And still, you reassure me silences can be rich with possibility, with promise. But my silent grief is an enemy of language. It burns the letters from my page. My tongue is stopped. My lips are closed. My heart is full. Wrapped in such sorrow, my words have deserted me. Water flows in. I cannot shape the words to take one step closer to the truth I need. Water flows in. Small talk chips away at me. Water flows in. Yes, I'm doing fine. I'm eating. Thank you for your card. I have your number. I promise I'll call. I smile, close the door, and silence falls. Water flows in. My hours are filled with breath and water, and the long, slow pulse of pain. A grieving woman is like a drowned town. A grieving woman is like a drowned town. Peer down through layers of shadow and you will see remains of foot-scuffed paths, abandoned rooms, unread books, unwashed plates, and clothes, light as gossamer, swaying gently with a rhythm not their own. For all is hidden now, concealed by a depth of pain, a brutally casual chiaroscuro that transfigures all she was. At times, we may view some tiny, vital moment of her lost life. A watch, perhaps, a wedding ring, a toy, before the weight of water shifts and all is gone. These buildings, too, held close in water's thrall, refract for just one moment, dull shafts of sunlight from sullied panes, while liquid fingers pick languidly at every edge, softening intractable stone. Others will stand around her then, observing her as a town, a place marked on a map that once they knew, speaking quietly to one another, saying in soft, low tones, yes, this is where it used to be. Grief confuses, consumes. Don't think, breathe. Without language, I stay silent, caught and held by grief. If I am to escape this dark unknown, I must return to language. I must return to sound. But I am held still. My voice is gone. A question of grief. How is it that I carry grief so well, you want to know? Do I draw it up like water? Fine drops spilling loose before me in careful holy palms? Do I clutch perhaps at something yet unformed, pulling it close into my concave chest, where grief beats out a hollowed echo from a stone-weary heart? Do I heft it in bulk across my shoulder, letting it bow me low with steps that drive me down? Or do I carry it now, in some more nebulous form, a fine, thin layer cracked just below the skin? Pain refracted within me, muscle deep to my very core, fused to my skin, plated to my very bones, I move within it, and I am grief personified. Another time I will speak of grief and stones, for I believe that when we lose someone, we sink into stillness like stones on a riverbed. We settle there, feel the current rippling above us, and we cease to move. It is then that grief blossoms in a silent place. This experience is so complex, so nuanced, that I lose the words to express how I feel. Now I know I must lift my head above the water. I need to listen. I need to remember. I need to return. It will be memories that I return to, and a childhood sound. Hunger. Heads pressed low like cattle walking into rain, we ploughed into the bleak November dusk, following our father as he strode into the dark. The cattle that he checked each winter's night moved slowly through the sloping, generous field. Once full of rich sward with thickened green, a bowl for a still hot summer sun, it now lay scuffed and bare as it emptied with the year. Winds whistled through desolate hedges, hulking low and beast-like in the darkest corners of the field, before lifting to the sky. We knew this sound for what it was, had grown with it, but we remained aloof, buckling down our fear like strapping a satchel closed on an unwelcome task. It was the phone lines, taut as webbing in that bitter, threatening sky, that caught our imaginations, then set all scrambling free like mindless, scuttering, frenzied things. Plucked by a prowling breeze, the lines begin to hum, a howling chorus of voices that soared within the wind, seeming to echo the approach of some unholy things. This was the voice of lost and lonely souls caught high in the web of night. A ravenous legion that capered madly above, seeking to fall upon us and then take their fill. We recognised the sounds of hunger, and we ran. I remember turning from my father in that nighttime field to race dry-mouthed in pistoning, thick, fat steps for home. The heavy rubber of my muddied boots slapping against my calves as I shrieked and ran. 3 small girls raced each other to outrun the siren song. We sped towards light, towards safety, towards what we knew. The night closed fast and low behind us, hungry, dark, unfed. Now I begin to understand that the texture of the lived-in moment still remains. It has not gone. I know the sound of animals waiting to be fed, the chatter of a working family, the light voices of 3 small girls, sun-warmed settling chickens, excited dogs, wary cats, distant lonely lambs. This landscape of sound and memory that shaped who I was and who I would become. As I fill my heart with light and sound, my words return. Baptism at the farm well. Summer has come gradually to its knees. The year is wearing thin now. It's growing tired and slow, darkness and memory slipping ever closer to the edges of the day. On this soft blue night, in one final patient dusk, I feel the year begin to falter. I've come to stand alone here beside the river's edge, drawn by the sound of running water. My face raised to the memory of a distant summer day. I am 12 years old, and with my father making hay. Once morning eager with the promise of my long-grown bones, muscles taut and strong under my salt-slick skin, I have hefted a summer full of grass within these stinted hours, and I am weary now. My father calls me to the brow of the hill where 4 fields meet. It is a small, dark copse, a shaded spot, and there, silent, still, together, my eyes raised beyond the summer branches to an open sky, a sky that soars unvaulted into the blue. My father reaches into the well his family once searched and found, waters centuries cool and shadowed now, and baptizes me in the water of the day. This is the correct order of my heart, this life, this moment. The water trickles down my sun-scorched skin and I am elemental. Water, air, soil, sky, sun. Growth within me and around me. I will flourish here, blessed and baptized this golden summer's day. Now my eyes are open and the sun is gone. There is a depth beyond silence and the shape of words, a gentle movement in the water that I mistake almost for a breeze. Will you join me here? Feel the weight, the movement, and the benediction of the water and the sky. Stand beside me as the stars catch fire. There is a lived life beyond the boundary of grief. Gratitude and love for the present moment do return. I carry my losses now as precious, hard-worn things, tiny gems of bitter beauty warmed by my skin. The letting go. According to research, memories are stored in the prefrontal, medial temporal and parietal cortices, the last parts of the brain that continue to function when we get close to death. Charon's obol, or stone, is an elusive term for the coin placed in or on the mouth of a dead person before burial, a payment or bribe for Charon the ferryman who conveys souls across the river Styx. I imagine these last moments as a kaleidoscope. No linear progression, no time limits. A lifetime of fragmented memories. 1. Standing in the moss, bending to dip and lift morning water in my cupped palm, I let the cool blessing run across my skin. 2. Walking in the spring, I seek out the haze of bluebells and, in the finding of them, come to understand that I have heard the opening notes of a familiar song. 3. Cowsheds blossom with remembered light. My father balances himself over raised bars in the byre, his 3 small daughters shrieking with delight. 4. Taking my hand, my mother steps beside me from the scullery door, light spilling across the first tight frost of the season. Standing together then, leaning back, we look up to feel the planets spin away from us as we rise into the endless arc of a winter sky. 5. On a quiet spring evening, orphaned and heavy with grief, I press my hand into the soil and feel the heartbeat of the land. 6. Passing the Donegal hills on a quiet morning train, I watch soft colours bruising the edges of the sky like fingers drawn through oil. 7. Older now, I stand within the slow exhalation of a summer night, while wild August roses cascade around me like the notes of a song. It is a fine thing to craft words upon the page, to feel the weight of spoken vowels like river stones smooth at rest beneath my tongue. I take these stones, these moments from my mouth, place them in the riverbed, watch the water run clear. I understand that everything in the universe is vibrating, and if it's vibrating, it's making a sound. That means that every part of us is making a sound. When we're in harmony with ourselves and the world, we are our own orchestra. everything, it seems, contains songs. Music is layered everywhere. A man places a slice of a tree trunk on a record player and draws the needle down. Chords, striving for harmony, play the music held inside the tree. Jupiter's charged particles sing across its magnetosphere, while electrons spiral in an endless chorus of waves from Earth's Van Allen radiation belts. Planets and stars pulsate in similar wavelengths, electromagnetic songs of nameless moons. An almost imperceptible hum emanates from Earth's perpetually rolling atmosphere in ring-shaped oscillations, while the pulse of long ocean waves break in concert over steep continental shelves and shifting seismic plates. Voyager once moved out and through vibrations of interstellar plasma carried on a dark wave of song. The sun's coronal loops vibrate transversely as a guitar and longitudinally as a wind instrument. Visual vibrations translated into sound. Everything, it seems, contains songs. How then can we not, as beings,